A Longmeadow woman has died following a crash on Wednesday on the Mass Turnpike in Grafton. It happened on the eastbound side of the Pike around 9:30 p.m. and state police say two vehicles collided with the center median barrier and came to a stop in the left and middle lanes. The third vehicle hit a guardrail and came to a stop in the breakdown lane. And a second crash involving two tractor trailers and a box truck happened moments later. One of those trucks overturned onto one of the cars involved in the first crash. The driver, 22-year-old Claudia Lucas of Longmeadow, was taken to the hospital where she later died. Two others suffered minor injuries.